it's Liz Yuille from Old Stables Crafts. Thank you for joining me again today. Today is another spot challenge day. So we have a new challenge for you. It's a weekly challenge and you can find all the details over on my website, which is linked immediately below. It's called the associated blog post. So our theme this week is Not Your Mama's Card. Not something I would necessarily say in the UK, but I'm taking it as a mail card. I think it's probably anything that you just wouldn't send to your mother. And for me, obviously, that would be a mail card. So this is the card that I've put together. I've used some of the items from the Sail Away Memories and More pack. Come Sail Away Memories and More pack. This is retiring. So I'm kind of using lots of retiring stuff up to make lots of cards for people. So this is the card that I put together. I've just realised I haven't put anything on the inside, but hey-ho. I would put something on the inside, not least of all a white liner. So I have used one of the cards I've cut out. It's this card that I've used, and I will be remaking it to show you how I've done it. I've used the Plank 3D embossing folder and some Night of Navy, and then the twine from the Come Sail Away suite and one of the trinkets. So let me show you how I have put all this together, because I've also used one of the Memories and More cards as a mask. So yeah, I am changing up the colour a little, purely because I wanted to see what it would look like in a different colourway. I'm still using Night of Navy, I'm still using this, but I'm using Sahara Sand card for the Plank, just to see what it looks like. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is, with a sponge dauber and my balmy blue ink pad, might put some more ink in there actually, so just squeeze the lid into the, or the ink pad into the lid, and I'm going to pick some of that up, and working from the centre, I'm going to try and pick up some of the Plank colouring, Plank definition, and I work from the centre so that I can control the colour a bit more. Do probably need a piece of scrap paper. She says, trying to find a piece of scrap paper. Gosh, this really is a scrap, and clearly something that I've been using to do some colouring with. So just, as I say, working from the centre out, only because then if you've got a lot of ink, it's in the centre, so you can just control where your ink is darker and lighter a bit more. Now, obviously, because I'm going on to Sahara Sand, the balmy blue ink is a slightly different colour from if I was on the Whisper White, which is what I used before, but that's fine. Part of the reason I did this is because the white in the card pack is not quite the same as our Whisper White. White does come in different colours. Technically, well, black is the absence of any colour. So white, I don't know, what is the definition of white? Someone might be able to let me know. Find out what the definition of white is, and you can pop that below. But obviously white has to be produced, white card has to be produced, and it will come out slightly different shades. So you've got warm whites and cool whites and those sorts of things, and it really just depends on how people have put their white together. So we've got this all nicely done. The next thing I'm going to do is fussy cut this, and then I'm going to get into some spraying. Haven't done any spraying for a long while. So for my fussy cutting, you know I'm on a mission with fussy cutting. I want people to fussy cut. And I've had lots of lovely comments about how my fussy cutting is, you know, up there. There is only one way, and I know I keep saying this, there is only one way to get better at fussy cutting, and that is, I'm afraid, to do more of it. So why not give it a go? I did a Top Tip Tuesday last week on fussy cutting, so do take a look at that. There's a video on my YouTube channel, so on this channel, and also a blog post over on my website. Whilst we're talking about YouTube channels, it's always lovely if people either leave comments or give me a thumbs up if they've found something helpful or they've enjoyed it. And of course, subscribing is lovely too. I'm slowly building up my following, and it would be great to get those numbers up a bit more. So if you do feel you could subscribe, I would be delighted to increase my subscription numbers. It means that YouTube is more likely to share my videos with people looking for papercraft videos. So the higher your subscriber number, the more likelihood that your channel will be promoted by YouTube. And obviously by promoting my channel helps me promote my business, because this is my business. So yeah. Now, all of the items that are on the retiring list, so including the Memories and More cards, are only there while stocks last. So now, can you see that these are quite different? So this is how it starts life, and this is what I'm changing it to. So yes, while stocks last is a really important thing to think about. Because once things are gone, they are gone. Right, now, this is one of the Memories and More cards, and I am using it as a mask. You can see that I've used it once already. So all I'm going to do is stick it down with some washi tape. That just helps keep it flatter. And then I've got a stamping spritzer. These come in packs of 2. They're relatively inexpensive. I think they're something under £3 for 2. And they're wonderful. I've got this filled with rubbing alcohol. I've got 70% rubbing alcohol, a couple of drops of Night of Navy Re-Inker, and a small amount of the Frost White shimmer paint. And I'm going to just spray that from a reasonable height. I like to do a sort of test spray first. Now, you can use water rather than rubbing alcohol. It just takes a little longer to dry. I'm just going to pop that to one side for the moment, just to dry off. I'm going to take the mask off. So there we go. Oops, don't want to rip my mask because I can use it again. Now, it's obviously going to take a little longer than if you had 90% rubbing alcohol. But 70% is fine. So you can use water. The only problem with water is it will take a lot longer. For this one, I've got some Sahara Sand alcohol, and so Sahara Sand Re-Inker, rubbing alcohol, and this time I have used the Champagne Mist. There was something that was a bit green, and I have a sneaking suspicion it was possibly Call Me Clover. Already in here, which is why it's got an interesting slightly green hue as well, but basically it's Sahara Sand and the Champagne Mist with some rubbing alcohol. And again, I just want to add some glitter to that. So it's subtle glitter, and again, that just needs to dry. So I'm going to pop that in the sun, and actually I'll pop that in the sun because we've got sun today, and I just want to show you the cards that I've got left. I haven't used enough of these, but I've already got an idea for a scrapbook page I want to use them for. So we've got 6x4 and 4x3. Oops, up the right way up would be good, really, wouldn't it? So Anchors Away, What is Life But a Grand Adventure. So as I say, I really haven't used enough of these. Celebrate the Good Times. Let's Go Somewhere and Do Something. Possibly not at the moment. And then sticker sheets. And I'm going to be using Celebrate on, I've got a scrapbook page in mind. Here's Making Every Moment Count I'm going to be using. And you can come back and have a look at that later this week. So Life is Better When We're All Together I will be using on my scrapbook page. I probably will use that as a journaling card. But some of these, I mean, you can just make a card really quickly. So easy to put together. Free as the ocean. Yeah. Again, possibly not at the moment. So lots and lots. Our story, brilliant. You could do it as your lockdown story. That's the one that I've already picked out. Ahoy There, which is a boat. Adventure. So lots and lots. Brilliant for masculine cards. Brilliant for memory keeping. A Day With You is the best. I love. In fact, I might put that with my... So, let's say, lots and lots of amazing cards that you can use for... You made my day, that's lovely. That you can use for memory keeping or for quick cards. Combine this with a pack of Memories and More cards, and, you know, note cards and envelopes. Hundreds, well, not hundreds, but lots of cards like that. Okay, so hopefully these bits are now dry, and they are. It doesn't take long because they are alcohol based. I've got a half sheet of Night of Navy scored down the middle, and then I'm going to just curl that in the direction that I actually want it to go, and grab my baker's twine, which is the matching baker's twine for the sweet, and I'm going to wrap this round 3 times. I like 3. It's a nice odd number. I do want to cross them a bit. So let's go up and then round, and then grab a pair of snips just to cut that off. And I'm going to tie this. First of all, I'm going to tie it in a knot, and then I can reposition everything exactly where I want it before tying it in a bow. And I want it reasonably taut, so I can hold my knot down with one of my spare fingers. So there's my knot. That's what I would call a reef knot. I think some people call it a square knot, but for me it's a reef knot. And then you can spread these bits out how you want them. If you want to move your knot in a bit, you can do that. So there we go. Now I'm going to stick this down with dimensionals because the twine is quite thick. Oh, I love a new sheet. Don't you love just breaking a new sheet of dimensionals? Ah, the little things. It's the little things. Oops. I do need a reasonable number because I want this to be nice and secure. Now, this in the UK would go through the mail as a large letter because I'm going to be using more dimensionals, because I'm going to be putting the focal point on dimensionals as well, because we've got the same issue with baker's twine on both sides of the card. So there we go. And just pop this down. I love the shimmer. I'll see if I can get... That's not straight. Oops. Try not to rip your card. So let's get that straight at the bottom. If I'm straight at the bottom, I'll be straight everywhere else is my plan. And just press from the back. You know me, I like to press things from the back. Right, now I had a bit of a nightmare over this, but I'm hoping, I've only got one left, I'm hoping I will be able to work it out in my brain where you put the trinket. Right, I want the trinket there. So let me pop my trinket on, and then that's going to be on the loop, and then I can there are moments. There are moments. Apologies that I've still got a plaster on. If you watched some of my videos last week, you will have heard that when I was doing some gardening a couple of weeks ago, I was chopping back. We've got a pyracantha in the front, at the front of our house, which was getting a little out of hand, and I needed to chop it back if I wanted to see out through our kitchen window, which is, you know, kind of nice to be able to see out of the window. And pyracanthas, if you don't know, have got very long but very spiky thorns. I mean, they are really like needles. And I got one into my finger, and I thought I'd got the whole thing out, and I hadn't. I had left the tip in, so I've been trying to draw it out. I've got Manuka honey dressing on it at the moment, which is working. I think we may be there, but it's just taking a while. Now, somewhere tucked away, there we are, I have got some glue dots and a take the pick tool, and I'm just going to fold one in half and then pop it on the base of my trinket, and that is going to help keep it where I want it. So let's get the tail out of the way and then just pop that down there, so it's sort of not at the bottom of the loop, but kind of there or thereabouts. Now again, this is going to be stuck down with dimensionals. And have I got any of the edge pieces left on my old sheet? Yes, I do, because the edge piece is really useful for going in the middle around the twine. And then on the back of this, I can pop some more, and I'm going to avoid the middle because that's where the twine's going, so I don't want dimensionals in the middle, otherwise it will be kind of all over the place from a height point of view. So I know I've got a dimensional there, and then I've got the baker's twine to also act as support. So can you believe, just now it was beautiful sunshine, and now it looks like it's about to rain. It's called spring in South Oxfordshire. Pop this onto my card, and there we are. And as I say, I'll put a liner in because no one likes writing on Night of Navy. But there you are, my two cards to the world's greatest guy. One with Whisper White as my background, and one with Sahara Sand. I think I do prefer the Sahara Sand, just saying. But I do like this look of the mask. I love that this is no longer flat white. So do kind of have a think about getting some of these spritzers and just have a play. Don't know if you can get rubbing alcohol at the moment. I've had my bottle for about 6 months, so well before the pandemic hit. But as I say, water will work as well, and then just add a few drops of your reinkers and some of the shimmer paint to get these lovely shimmery backgrounds. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Do remember to subscribe to my channel, bottom right hand corner. Let me see if I can get these to look shiny while I'm signing off. If you're in the UK and would like any of these products, they are listed below. I would be thrilled if you would try out my customer service. If you use the host code, you get to have free product as a gift from me. I split the stamping rewards between everyone who uses the host code. So, yeah. Thank you very much indeed for joining me. If you've enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. And I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Do take care, stay safe, and have a fantastic week.